Hey! So the badges are on their way home. I have one day left here at Newstead Abbey. Home of Lord Byron. Yeah, I told myself I'd write some poetry while I'm here, in that classically romantic style for which I'm known. So that's happening. The climactic finale and title track of the upcoming album will be penned here in Byron's Restless Shadow. There's about 200 gigabytes of footage to trawl through of the various shenanigans we've got up to, both here and around Nottingham, and briefly in Manchester, and of course at the ICMI in London last week. I thought it'd be pertinent to give you a video while I'm here. I've only been away for 2 weeks, but boy has it been a news-filled couple of weeks. As you're probably aware, no sooner had the honey badgers arrived in Nottinghamshire, the police force in this fair county made it a hate crime to talk to women, or to whistle at them. We're choosing to interpret this series of events as a coincidence. It probably wasn't their way of, catching those filthy MRAs who sullied this fine land. It's far more likely that it was their way of making sure Nottingham doesn't become the next Rotherham. See, you don't stop rape by arresting the grooming gangs. I mean, you can't throw them all in prison. There's too many of them, and that's racist and gross. No. You stop rape by arresting any man who addresses any woman without her permission. A perfectly practical, non-discriminatory plan, I'm sure you'll agree. We need to go back to Victorian Britain. Progress! So, my next question would be, how do you stop Nottingham from becoming the next Nice? By banning men from driving trucks, presumably. But not the Muslims, of course. They can still drive trucks. Don't be an Islamophobe. As the saying goes, if you are a hammer, then every problem looks like a nail. Because you don't have a mechanism for dealing with screws. And when you tell the government that Islam is a misogynistic rape culture, their only response is, okay, we better crack down on all the men. It's all they know. So I'll say for the record, Islam is not a misogynistic rape culture. They're almost as bad as us when it comes to overprotecting and mollycoddling women, as long as those women adhere to the correct ideology. They do, however, have a misanthropic culture of murdering infidels, with swords and guns and trucks and planes, whatever they can get their hands on, basically. So could you do us all a favour and stick to the stuff that's actually in the book? So speaking of terrorism and mass murder, Black Lives Matter. 12 dead cops in Dallas. Turned out to be the straw that made the camel finally decide to call it BLM. It becomes officially sinister when you give it an initialism, doesn't it? 7 dead civilians in Orange County was enough for you to start calling it the MRA. Oh wait, he wasn't a men's rights advocate at all, and in any case you've been calling them MRAs since long before that incident. Can any of you remember why you started calling them MRAs instead of men's rights advocates? Can you recall what gave it that sinister status? That's right, feminists decided to paint men's rights as a terroristic initialism. And you all joined in. And don't tell me it's because it's quicker and easier to say, so is BLM. You didn't change that over for the sake of syllables, you changed it over because you decided Black Lives Matter deserves an evil-sounding name. Well, please tell me why men's rights advocates deserve the same thing. Because I've met a lot of them now, and all we've ever done together is drink and talk and make things and have a good time. Thanks for the requests. I watched Vihart's video, among others, as requested. A few other apologists for Black Lives Matter. I've got to say, it's bitterly amusing that they can reel off this list of people who've been unjustly murdered, like Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown and Alton Sterling, and so on and so forth. All men, by the way. For all the deliberate selectivity you're committing so as to only include black people in this list, you can't help accidentally selecting an all-male list. As much as the progressive left would love to climb all over a single example of police brutality against a black woman, or indeed any woman, you can't find any. So if there's anyone out there who still thinks that Black Lives Matter is a peaceful, effective human rights project, but the men's rights movement is a hate group, you are worthless, disgusting hypocrites. And your lives have gone horribly wrong. I hope you know that. You are removing the speck in your neighbour's eye and ignoring the plank in your own. I'm willing to accept that there is a speck in the eye of the black community's women, but there is a plank in the eye of every community's men. Yes, including the Muslims. And as long as you're chasing all this other shit, that skin colour and religion and an ever-growing list of made-up genders, you are doing nothing but burying your head in the sand and vomiting into the water supply and farting toxic fumes into the atmosphere. You are wasting everybody's time and patience, both of which are running out. If you claim to be interested in equality or freedom or human rights, but you continue to deliberately and callously ignore the demographic getting the most discrimination on all these counts, then you are a hypocrite and a fool and a vacuous virtue-signalling douchebag. You have a plank in your eye, and you'll never get it out until you can self-criticize. And if all you can think of in response to this video is, "God, shut up, MRA, you're just another kind of feminist," then you are continually failing at life. You're yet to find a problem that doesn't affect men the most. But when someone points that out, your brain melts and you become the thing you despise the most. Sort that shit out, yeah. By the way, I noticed feminists are no longer calling everyone MRAs. No longer referring to everyone who disagrees with them as an MRA. It's not their favourite go-to name call anymore. After several years of erroneously blaming anything and everything on the human rights of man, they're starting to realise that this is inaccurate and doesn't reflect very well on them. It actually makes them sound like they really do hate men. So they've changed to a different favourite go-to name call. Now what do they call everyone who disagrees with them? Anti-feminist. Anti-feminist has overtaken MRA as the worst thing you can call someone, according to the resounding opinion of the establishment. So, you should probably drop the label. Right? I mean, you've lost the argument, haven't you? You're feminism's least favourite thing, and that means they've beaten you. I don't remember where I got this logic, but it sure is fun playing with it. Oh, and Ghostbusters came out. And nobody cares, because there's actual news to talk about. Sorry, guys, we're not even offended. Schlock is not even on the radar anymore. We're too busy either committing cultural suicide or trying to convince each other not to. Oh, look at that, we've come full circle. Life imitates art. Squirrel! So that's it. Thanks and hello to everyone who came out to see us. Thanks to @Beelzebubbles for making this panda for me, pretty much on the spot. Thanks for all the drinks you all got me and all the kind words you had for me. Sorry if I was quiet and awkward. That's what I'm like when I'm sober, now you know. There's lots of footage to show you and lots of work to do before that. Lots of videos to make. The album will be completed in due course, and I'll be guesting on a few other channels in the near future, so watch this space. Watch all the spaces, but not all the time. Get out of the house once in a while, eh? Look at the sky. Look at the sky, it's always beautiful. Always. Shut up! You shut up. No, you shut up! You shut up. You have any idea of the philosophical implications of telling me to shut up? It makes no sense. You make no sense. Brilliant. Yes, I am. Why did you take me to Manchester? You know I hate Manchester. Everyone hates Manchester. That's why I like it. Oh, weird.